Unscripted.
It's become a little bit funny and maybe a little bit redundant how things can change in the gaming industry from one generation to the next, or even year to year, or in this case, week to week. It seems like no matter what Sony does, they just can't win lately. You know, they absolutely go crazy with some fantastic stuff for PlayStation Plus. PlayStation Now gets some good games, and yet, there's always going to be people out there that continue to harp on some of the little things that they feel are big things, and that's just human nature. Right, like a lot of people are mad at me because I spoke out against Microsoft and what they were doing for the longest time. Obviously, I wasn't a big fan of the way that they were, putting out lackluster titles, and the lack of AAA exclusives and things like that really bothered me. And so I spoke my mind. I had a little bit of a voice to go out there and say something, and I did. And a lot of people really kind of disagreed with my initial reactions and thoughts towards Microsoft. And the thing is that it's perfectly okay to be, critical of something that you like. I think that that's how we get things as fans, as gamers, as consumers. We're the ones that hold all the cards because we're the ones that are spending the money on these things. So, I really feel like people sometimes underestimate what a voice can mean in these types of instances and situations, and hopefully we start to see some changes for the better. I mean, Microsoft looks like they're still a couple of years away from having consistent AAA releases, but at least we know we're being heard somewhat, and they're out there kind of doing their thing. And it does bring me a little bit of hope that things are going to get better on that side. They are doing some things to kind of make up for it. One of the main things that they're doing is making sure that gamers who have Game Pass get some games day and date and things like that. So that's going to be really important kind of going forward as well. You have to be able to have some of this stuff ready to go for fans. You have to have, get fans excited. You have to be able to get people into your brand. I mean, it's something that Microsoft has really, really struggled with. But, Sony, on the other hand, they've done a pretty good job of getting stuff out there in terms of games. But we still have to look at sort of this situation where we're at with some of these other things. And you've got to really appease your fan base. Like, that's the main thing that I kind of want to talk about a little bit as this news broke. You have to appease your fan base. You have to give them things that they want. You can't just stubbornly, stick by a certain type of thing because that's the way that you're used to it or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, gamers aren't stupid. We're very intelligent people, and you can't really go out there and fool us and have us kind of ticked off and expect us to continue to support your brand. It's a very kind of symbiotic relationship where we expect the best, and we don't want to get screwed over. And unfortunately, I get the feeling that Sony is kind of doing a little bit of that old hat where they're kind of screwing people over, not paying attention to the fan base and what they want, and that's not a good look for anybody involved. I really do think that they have to kind of revert back to that PS4 mentality. I mean, if you think about it, with the PS3, they were so close to being done. I mean, they've admitted that. There's various different interviews and things like that where they've actually admitted that, and Sony has said, the PS3 era, we were pretty much close to being done. Had the PS4 not been a success, maybe they stopped doing video games, and I don't think anybody wants that. It's just one of those things where, we have to look at how far they've kind of come, and yet they kind of go back on that a little bit when it comes to the PlayStation 5 and some of their features and things like that. So anyway, I want to get started with this before I start rambling too much. What's up, everybody? Crapgamer here with Crapgamer Reviews, back with another video. Thank you so much for checking it out. I really do appreciate it. Please like, share, subscribe. I would appreciate that as well. It helps out the channel, and it means a lot to me personally. If you guys are looking for a way to help out a little crappy, dying / rebuilding channel like mine, the best way to do it is a simple like. It means a lot to me personally, and I can't really say enough good things about you guys that have actually gone out there and given me some good advice and some good things to kind of look forward to, and some changes and things like that. I really do appreciate that. So thank you guys very much. Shout out to all the old subscribers, new subscribers, and everybody in between. You guys are fantastic, and you guys are great. Thank you so much for rocking out with me, and just always just being there for me and helping out and stuff like that. You guys are amazing. Amazing. Now, this is sort of a weird situation because, you know, Sony, for the most part, does a really good job with what they're doing. And, you know, they coming out of the blue with some of the stuff that came out lately is a bit of a bummer. And so naturally, fans' reactions are a little bit kind of disheartened, to say the least. Now, PlayStation fans are petitioning to save the PS3, PSP, and PS Vita stores following Sony's decision to close them. Sony's decision to shut the PlayStation 3, PSP, and PS Vita stores was met with a lot of backlash, as you'd expect, and now fans have started petitioning to keep them up and running in a bid to preserve the legacy content. 2 separate petitions has come to the attention of people on Twitter, which keeps tracking on all the digital games that have been removed from the virtual stores. For the time of the petition, one has almost reached its goal. And we keep seeing more and more people kind of running to this stuff and getting it going. And this calls for Sony to keep the stores open, noting that it's been nearly 15 years since PSN first launched alongside the PS3 in November 2006. It's not a secret that the number of games will be lost when the stores close. In fact, it's been stated that over 2,200 titles, will be lost as a result of Sony's decision. Among them includes a digital version of Silent Hill for PS1, which a lot of people are not happy about. So while it is doubtful that Sony will reverse course on its decision to close the stores, it can't hurt talking about it. And this isn't the only thing. Listen, I like the fact that, you know, so many PlayStation fans, and a lot of people think I'm a huge PlayStation like fanboy or whatever. I'm just a huge gamer, and I just love gaming, and I think that as long as video games are a thing, I want to be doing it. At the same time, I do feel like, you know, it's awesome that so many Sony fans are out there willing to speak their mind on these things, right? To say that they're unhappy, because that was a brick wall that I ran into when I was like on the Xbox side of things. And I'm not against Xbox or on PlayStation side or whatever. You know, I just like playing great games on some great hardware. And, you know, when I was on the Xbox kind of riding along and kind of doing my own thing on Xbox, it was like, you know, for me, it was hard to get anybody to kind of jump in and back me up when I was saying that, you know, they needed to get something done in terms of the big exclusives or some kind of roadmap to really go out there and kind of showcase what they were working on, because it had been so long and years, and we keep buying into new hardware and, you know, nothing to show for it. And so, you know, us as fans, I think, really kind of deserved, you know, some kind of explanation, which we never got. And, you know, some type of, you know, at the very least, some kind of compensation or something. Now, we're finally starting to see that a little bit with, you know, the situation where we've seen, you know, kind of Microsoft and Sony react. And Microsoft has reacted pretty well with, you know, what they've been doing with Game Pass, but, you know, that's not really going to help them long term. That's like a Band-Aid, you know. Clearly they need a little bit more than that. And on the Sony side, I think that Sony fans are out there kind of on the front line a little bit more, beating that drum, letting them know that no, they're not exactly happy with what's going on. And that's not the only petition that was started. There's actually a petition to remove Jim Ryan as CEO of PlayStation. So basically, what this says is ending long-term first-party studios since the 90s and bringing PlayStation games to PC. This man cares about money rather than actual fan base. He's out of touch with the gaming community and constantly lying. So, you know, and this one has quite a lot of support on it, to be honest with you. And so gamers aren't really afraid to go out there and kind of, you know, get their feet wet and go out there and speak up and say what needs to be said. And I give them nothing but credit for that. That's a huge thing, to be able to go out there and go, well, you know what, I'm spending my money on your platform, and I think that you guys really need to pay attention to what we think more than you're doing, right? I give them nothing but props for that, because that takes a lot of guts, first of all, and second of all, I just feel like it's something that it's the right thing to do. Okay, right now we are the boss. It's the same thing with politics, right? We're fans, but we're also, you know, we're the ones that are paying these people's salaries. You know, we're the ones buying these things. Like, people don't really understand that we're the boss. We're the ones that should be appeased, and you know, at the end of the day, they should be doing a better job. And the fact that they're not means that they aren't maybe paying as close attention to us as we initially thought. And that's how we can do something about it, by going out and starting stuff like this so that we can get their attention. Now, do we want, like, I don't think that that's like that Jim Ryan could be fired or should be fired, because at the end of the day, who else you gonna get, really? I mean, honestly, I'm just being clear about that. You know, somebody else would probably be just as bad as him. But at the same time, you know, I feel like getting something out there to let Sony know would definitely be a good thing. So this is strange but interesting, to say the least. Let me know what you guys think. Sound off, rate, comment, subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Please have a fantastic day. Stay safe, happy, and healthy. Rack 'em up. Game on, my friends. Game on. Crapgamer out.
Unscripted.